Hi, everyone. Welcome back to AHRK Encounter. I'm your host, Maha, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. Today, we have an incredible VIP, truly one of my favorite speakers, and he's going to share with us how he encounters hospitality through the lens of lifestyle. And of course, with our wonderful guide, Bernard Bashira. Now, let me tell you, when these two are together, you are bound to be moved. So let's start our AHRK Encounter journey with this video.
AHRK is the lifestyle path to better choices. It empowers us to live life to the fullest and paves the way for people like you and me to discover our unique purpose and passion. Choosing to walk the AHRK path invites transformation and growth in 5 key areas of life: leadership, communication, mindset, community, and lifestyle. As we dive into these lenses, they redirect our focus and guide us into a deeper understanding of where we're at today and where we're going tomorrow. This is AHRK Encounter.
And welcome to AHRK Encounter. My name is Bernard Bashira, and today we're talking about hospitality through a lens of lifestyle. For me, this topic is something that I live out really every day of my life, and it's finding the right lens to present it to you, the right kind of series of conversations. We had to find the perfect guest for this, and we did. Someone that understands what lifestyle is in terms of hospitality. This person has had this really led a life of hosting events for the city, for the Rotary. He was a pastor of a church, his family, his community, and so many others. And that's important because the hospitality touches our lives in so many facets. So we wanted to bring that to you today. So help me welcome our own Casey Cox to this conversation. Welcome, Casey.
Hey, thanks, Bernard. It's good to be with you. Even though I'm not in studio with you, I'm always right here.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's kind of difficult not having you in my lens here. So, I'm going to get used to this. But you know what? I thank you for really taking the time. I know you're traveling, but I wanted to really capture this concept of hospitality and lifestyle because it's something that you live out, and it's you really embody the topic so well. And of course, as you know, you're a VIP in this topic. You're anchored in your values, in what hospitality is. You know your identity, and of course, you live out your purpose in this topic wherever you go. And I'm sure wherever you're at right now, you're living fully into this. So let's begin the journey. Well, where are you?
Well, right now, I'm in Dallas, just outside of the Grapevine area, hanging out in a hotel. Which you know what, we've been doing a lot of traveling lately, and every time we step into a hotel, we walk in and we look around, and it's just an appropriate place to really connect to hospitality because the opportunity of every hotel is to make me feel at home. And it just kind of ties into the topic to be on location, living out hospitality here.
Love that, and you know so well that you know the way you live this topic out, you are unarguable, you are unshakable, you are undeniable in every lens because you give it your all. You do it with passion. You host others with passion, with certainty, knowing who you are. But at the same time, you allow others to host you, and that's one of the things that I love about you is you're comfortable in that. As I find that a lot of people go out of their way to host, but they don't do very well when it comes to being hosted. But I know you learned early on in your life to be hosted. So
Yeah.
why don't you share something about that?
You know what I would say is, even as you just described that, I went, yeah, that you're right. And I would say I actually learned to be hosted much later. My life was defined by a lot of sickness and hardship and struggle early on. I had a younger brother that had leukemia at the age of 5, and I was 18 months older. So I grew up in and out of hospitals visiting him, being very comfortable there. I had some other family members that spent a lot of time in hospitals and just that kind of thing. So being confident to walk around a place that is designed to take care of people when they're hurting, when they're sick. I learned how to navigate the hospital language and those kind of things. But it wasn't until probably about 10 years ago that I actually was ever a patient in a hospital. And it changed my life to go from being so confident in a hospital, I can navigate it, I know to speak the language, I know how to take care of people in the hospital, to actually being taken care of. I had a surgery, had some health concerns, and it changed my life around one, to take care of myself, not just taking care of others, but to be taken care of. And so I learned that through hospitals, which, just as we're dealing with hospitality, connects into that same word.
Love that. Wow. Well, you definitely have a lot of experience in this matter, as I knew very well. It was anchored something deep. But thank you for sharing that. I know that's a very personal and intimate conversation for you. But again, what you did is you just jumped us onto the ARC path. It's you jumped us into this acknowledgement, this reality that there was something that you recognized early on in your childhood, that there's a hospital and there's a hospitality lens of people catering to you. They're catering to your family and to your community, and they're serving you guys. And I know hospitality is ingrained in you. It's part of every conversation that we have. And that's why it was so important for us to really bring this to our viewer, and to recognize that it's such an important topic. But let's get, we're on the ARC path. You've recognized that this topic is important. What would you capture to our viewer as the biggest revelation of that acknowledgement of hospitality?
I think the biggest acknowledgement that you were alluding to is that everybody has a place where they need to be taken care of. And sometimes we just don't know what that is until we feel pain, until we wake up and go, hey, something's missing. And the choice is to acknowledge that I don't have to let that pain define me. I can find somewhere that can take care of me, that can love on me. I mean, when you have a physical pain and you go to the hospital and they say, hey, lay in this really comfortable bed, it goes up and down, and we're going to bring you what you need. We're going to check on you. We're going to take care of you. That's a form of hospitality. At the same time, when you've been working really, really long hours and all you need is a vacation, and then you check into a hotel and they go, how can I pamper you? How can I take care of you? We don't have to live in that pain of being stuck. There is always some place, and better said in hospitality, somebody that has exactly what I need.
Wow. Well, I hope the viewers got this. I mean, this is why I love talking to Casey so often. It's the nuggets that really come out of our conversations together are just so exciting for me. You brought hospitality into, of course, this conversation of a single area of my life. So we need hospitality in certain areas of our lives in certain times. And a lot of those times are from a point of pain. And of course, there are times when there are places of celebration. But I just love that lens that we need hospitality from in this area of pain in certain places in our lives. And that's a powerful acknowledgement. I think I'm going to meditate on that a lot, because I think it's, I look at hospitality through my personal lens of a greater hospitality vision, but you're right. There's this area of acknowledgement that we need that's specific to certain areas of our lives. And having people around, community, to nurture us and care for us and host us in that area is just powerful. So I appreciate you sharing that. I think that was very profound. Let's move us along the ARC path, and let's get to this place of healing. Your relationship with your family is amazing. I mean, it's the way you care for the intimacy of your children, your wife, and your connection points. But healing through this lens of hospitality is a big part of your life. So share with us some of the areas in your personal or business life that you needed healing from.
We'll do personal first in the healing aspect. It's releasing control, and when you're gonna be hospitable and host people into your life, you need to open up your hands and release control. And I had to learn that. When the kids it was their house as much as it was our house. And they were going to play, they were going to break things, they were going to have space, and teaching them to take ownership of that space. It was, they weren't guests in my house in that sense. It was their house. And anybody that comes over to our house, still today, I want to treat it as if, hey, you're stepping into your house as much as it's my house, because I open-handedly can hold things, because everything I've been given has been a gift. And so I had to learn not to need things to be perfect. Now, how did I compensate for that? I order too much food when people come over because I'm not going to run out. I always do a little extra prep work, because I want everybody to feel like there's a place to sit in the room. So I'll have extra chairs out. And I like, in my house, we bought a big enough couch that everybody could have a seat and we could watch TV together. And you know what, being hospitable. There's a parable in the Bible that talks about don't take the best seat, but then let the owner put you in that best seat. Now, I'll be honest, sometimes in my house, I'm not sitting in the best seat and I'm waiting. They're going to watch this interview. I'm waiting for one of them to say, "Hey, Dad, shouldn't you sit in the best seat in the house?" But it's coming. It's coming. But that's a healing element of releasing that control.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's what's funny. About what you said is, first of all, I just want to tell something to the viewer. This is the first time that I'm celebrating what Casey just said mimics our the first couple of interviews that we had in this series. And so if you haven't had a chance to watch those two, go back and watch them. I just love the symmetry. I love the connection point because the number one culprit in this conversation is control. This is what everybody's been talking about. There's this connection point of this thing that prevents us from celebrating and hosting each other is this concept of control. We want to control our environment. We want to control every part of it. And just kind of what Casey was sharing, that healing from that is critical, and letting go of control is a big part of that. So, now I know next time you come to the office, I'm going to get up and give you my seat. I promise that. It's a great part of the conversation. So we move on. I think we recognize that we need healing, and letting go of control is healing. Now you model hospitality in restoration, and because for me it's you've made this effort, and whether it's I know it's normative in your life, but you make this effort with your community, whether it's city functions or Rotary functions, where you're such a go-to person. Go, hey, we want to have an event, we want to host, and they reach out to you. And then what I've seen you also do is you initiate, from my lens, a lot of that. And for me, that's that lens of restoration. Is you've learned the value of what it does in you, in your family, in your community, and you encourage the greater community to live the same lifestyle. How's that journey been for you of restoration and inviting others into the same understanding of lifestyle and hospitality?
I'm gonna tie it to the releasing of control to actually empower others, and that's the restoration aspect. It's the word I'm thinking of is empathy, and for me, empathy is about being on somebody else's path. So as I think of the different areas of the city, whether it be the chamber, the city council, the business area, the networks, the schools, you name it, I've gone and walked on their path. And as I'm hosting in the city, I'm hosting with them in mind. So when I put an event together, or if I'm collaborating two entities to work side by side, a lot of times I get people to look at me like, well, what's in it for you? And what's in it for me is the joy of hosting, the joy of being a part of a network, the joy of saying, look, I see your gifts and I see your gifts. And together, you might have missed the beautiful connection that the two of you can bring together for the city. So the restoration of empathy and really learning to listen, not with a desire to have the right answer, but with a real hope to understand and to go, okay, where are you coming from? I'm just thinking of one experience that we were coming to solve a problem for one of the schools. And in the middle of it, she was answering what we wanted to do as principal. And I just stopped and I said, is there something you'd rather have us do that would really help you? And out of it grew an amazing program that transformed the way that school experienced their open house. And all I did was listen and then go, well, rather than giving my answer, I just took your answer and then put it in action and motion. And that's hospitality to me.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that story. And it's I know Casey is a big champion. I'm learning to spell empathy. I'm learning to write it. He makes me write it about 50 times a day on the board. But joking, I mean, it's such an important part of who he is, and it's such an important part of hospitality. I think this concept of how we are interconnected, as a lot of us kind of look at our own roads and inviting, as Casey's saying, kind of inviting us to walk with each other on each other's road is complicated. It's like, no,
Hmm.
everybody, hey, here's my road, come into my lane. Well, actually, stay out of my lane, just come into my road. And releasing control of how all that happens is such a critical way forward, and it's restorative. It restores community, relationships, and which kind of leads us into the kingdom. And
Amen.
it's a place that we love. It's a place that we celebrate. It's how we celebrate the fruit of being in community with each other, living a lifestyle of hospitality. And so Casey, as you touch hospitality, and again, you're traveling. What is a kingdom encounter in your mind right now? It's what like over the next 2 days that you're traveling. What would a
Hmm.
kingdom encounter look like for hospitality and lifestyle?
Lifelong relationships growing out of nowhere. We're going to meet some new people. We're here for my son to have an experience as he goes into his final year of high school. And when two people who've never met each other can come away from a one-time encounter and have a lifelong friendship, I know hospitality was in its place. And that's just how I would capture what I'm looking for in a kingdom experience. For me, I would also add, and I'm just thinking through, how does my mindset work? I think about Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, and we talked about the synergy. We've talked about the seek first to understand and then be understood. And the other one I'm thinking of is win-win. In the kingdom celebration of hospitality, everybody wins. The guest wins, the host wins, the neighbor next door wins, the person who didn't show up wins. And we create that atmosphere where no one's losing. And it's possible with the right mindset. It's possible with the right hope. And really, as we've kind of put this together with the right lifestyle, as I choose win-win, I don't need anybody else to choose win. It's in my lifestyle that I get to live into that life is always a party in my place. Anybody want to come play?
Yes. Well, I love that, and it's so true. I think you live a life of it's an open house. You love you respect your space. You respect your privacy, but so many people are invited into your life, and it's a celebration. And I celebrate you as a friend. I celebrate you as someone that I get to work with, and for me, that's that kingdom reality. So thank you for joining us. I think it's been such
Yeah,
a
thank you.
growing journey for me, and I hope it's been the same for all of you. Is that hospitality is important. There's so many facets to it, but unless we sit and we talk and we listen to each other, we won't learn, we won't grow, and change the way we think about each other and the way we live together. So thank you for joining us. And here we have Maha is going to talk to you more how you can be connected with the AHRK Path, and come back and watch the rest of the series. There's more to come. So thank you, Casey. Have an amazing trip. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing segment. Let go of control, transform your lifestyle, be the person that you are called to be, and the life that you should have. Let's live it out. If you enjoyed what you heard today, visit our website at arkencounter.com, our social media at ARCPath. We also have an app called Circles Now, and we have amazing podcast sessions and courses created by our very own Bernard Bashura and Casey Cox. I'm your host, Maha. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you next time on AHRK Encounter. Take care.